Welcome to Survival Weekly. My name's Chad.
And my name's Kevin. This is our show about two ordinary guys just discussing survival.
Since the show is called Survival Weekly, we thought it'd be good to address what you think survival is. So leave comments, video responses, let us know what you think survival is. And Kevin's sitting beside me so I can ask him, Kevin, what do you think survival is?
I think it means a bunch of different things. I think for me personally, survival, it's kind of almost like a catchword, because I think what we call survival today, I think our ancestors used to just call living.
Yeah.
We think, going out to the bush for a few days without the convenience of, refrigerators and whatnot is a weekend of survival. That used to be life for our ancestors. And I'm pretty curious myself as to when, people had stopped being taught, the necessary skills to live by themselves and live off the land and whatnot.
Making fires, growing their own food kind of thing.
Absolutely. Farming food, knowing what materials in nature to use for cordage and for fuels and everything else.
A lot of what we consider primitive skills.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
So when did that stop? When did we stop possessing those skills and practicing them?
That's a good question. I think that's something that may have to come up in another show. I think definitely, there are still people that know how to farm in certain things today, but I think the industrialization of our countries or whatever probably had a great deal to do with it, because we do rely on other people to manufacture our food.
Survivalism or survival skills, to me, in a more contemporary sense, in the world that we're actually living in, I think that we gave up those older primitive skills and adopted newer survival skills, like living in a city, like negotiating our way through a dark parking lot and addressing those kinds of concerns, because we still are in survival mode in a lot of ways, I think.
Oh, it's still definitely living in general is survival of one form or another. But I think being able to take care of yourself in the sense of feeding yourself and knowing what you can drink and what you can eat and things like that are, parking lots didn't exist before, and we assume as people that they always will exist, and that is not necessarily the case. There's been ice ages before, and that's the type of weather that I don't think we're in control of, so to speak. So I think being prepared to take care of yourself in all aspects of life, whether urban or non-urban, is what survival really is to me.
Yeah. To me, it also means looking at those primitive skills that I haven't been in touch with and our culture hasn't been in touch with, and preparing for the possibility of needing them for my survival in a future occasion.
Well, absolutely. That's the prep part, being prepared for, the bug-out situation should it ever occur, or the bug-in situation should it ever occur. Either way, both of those mean some kind of catastrophic event that made you either flee your home or to secure your home, and either one of those are pretty scary options, to tell you the truth. It really doesn't matter which way it goes, and either one means that it's a positive shift. That's for sure.
Yeah, not immediate anyway.
Absolutely. You got to look at it as an opportunity to change, for sure, but it's a pretty scary situation to think.
So what's the most important aspect of survivalism?
Procuring water. I think in the $20 bug out challenge, I think we really learned that no matter what the situation is, you just cannot carry enough water, or you cannot store enough water to last you forever.
And the same kind of thing would happen with the bug-in situation, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So no matter what the situation, bug in, bug out, on the run, in your house, rain barrels, this and that, you can't ever have enough water.
No, that's true, yeah.
You could have 10 rain barrels in your backyard, and in a situation of collapse, they're all going to get stolen. So you can only have have so much in your basement or in your home, and that can only prolong you for so long. So I think the idea of bugging in to me is a temporary option, because eventually you have to leave.
If things did decline to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Worst case scenario, obviously, we're talking here. But if you bug yourself in, you're locking yourself into a barricade, and at some point, you're going to have to take yourself out.
Right. So do you think survivalism is a pretty hot topic right now? It's being talked a lot about right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people kind of, with 2012 coming, I think some people misunderstand what's going on there, or they just have their own views on it, not necessarily misunderstand. But I think there are people that are concerned about that and worried about that. I'm not so sure I'm concerned about it in the exact same sense of being a one-day event. I think the tsunamis and earthquakes and hurricanes and all these things are already on the rise. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think it's over a prolonged period of time. And over time, all these things have been on the rise for years and years now. And so there are things that we need to prepare for. Do I think that means that the world is going to end? Absolutely not. But being prepared for disaster, as I'm sure the 300,000 people that didn't make it from the tsunami would have thought differently today than they did the day before that tsunami hit and wiped out their towns and villages and cities.
So for you, a lot of the survival aspect is preparedness.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So what kind of preparations have you made?
I have a bug-out bag kit, or whatever, if that's what you want to call it, that I have for the bug-out situation, because for me personally, I think my option is to get out. I mean, I live in an apartment. I think for me...
Close to a major city.
Close to a major city, and also not too far from a major roadway that can take me north. So I think my ways is to get out of here. My bug-out location that I have predetermined is up north, near water that I know that I can drink, near food sources in the way of wild game and animals and fish and whatever. So my kit pertains to where I am going to try to get to should I ever have to.
Right, the necessary tools you'd need.
That I would need in that kind of environment for the surrounding area.